In a private screening that was held this past weekend, we had several stalwarts in the film industry coming to lend their support to the filmmaker and producer of this particular movie. The movie, The Funeral of Kwadae, and in seeing the images and the article published concerning this particular event, I thought this is a very good step in the right direction with regards to how industry individuals and stakeholders ought to unite to help build a very formidable industry as we have it in Ghana. And excitingly, we also had Deputy Executive Secretary of the NFA gracing the occasion with his presence. I'm speaking about James Gardner. And I think this is a good thing that we need to talk about. And also talking about cinemas, Fred Nuamah, one of Ghana's renowned filmmaker and also businessman, has spoken about the lack of cinemas hampering the film industry in Ghana. So we'll be delving into these two stories and more right here on the 25th episode of the Film Mandate. My name is Papa Otu. Stay tuned. So once again, welcome to another episode of the Film Mandates. I'm Papa Otu, and today we'll be talking about something that happened this past weekend, and there was a private screening of a movie. The movie is yet to be released, but the trailers are online. The Funeral of Kwade, and this movie is produced by Nana Obiri Yeboah, and also, sorry, directed by Nana Obiri Yeboah and produced by Emma Alevi, such wonderful team of filmmakers. And this movie was screened in a private setting where individuals were invited to come to the screening, and it was held at Snap Cinemas at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, right in the heart of Accra. And from the screening, you had several stalwarts in the, I would say, in the film industry coming to grace the occasion, even including Executive Secretary of the NFA, James Gardner. And yes, aside the fact that they came to this occasion, I am excited about the whole event with regards to the fact that all these people came to lend their support, even including Kwabena Jansa, the director of I think I'm missing the title, but the director of last is it Last Stop or so Last Stop, the film that features Ajete Amnan and Clemento Suarez. He also came there to lend his support to a brother in the industry, and I think that was so beautiful to see all these people come to lend their support to these individuals. So, in an article published in Trendal HQ, concerning this event. I'd like to read it and then we'll talk about it. It states that the funeral of Kwade, a bold step forward for Ghanaian cinema. It was published by or written by Philip Newhang on April 22nd. And then your short, you have the filmmakers of the film Kwade, the burial of Kwade, and you also have in the midst of them Deputy Executive Secretary James Gardner in your shorts with them. So I like to read, and this event was actually held at a Snap Cinema. So I like to read it briefly. So the funeral of Kwade on the evening of Saturday, 19th April 2025, the Snap Cinema inside the Accra Metropolitan Assembly transformed into a hub of excitement, emotion, and pure cinematic energy. The occasion, a private screening of the funeral of Kwade, a film directed by Nana Obiri Yeboah and produced by Emma Alevi. The Funeral of Kwade is a bold and beautifully crafted Ghanaian film that's already turning heads in the industry. The screening was no ordinary affair. It brought together a stellar lineup of Ghana's entertainment royalty. Veteran actors David Nonto and Fred Amogi made an appearance, reminding everyone why they are still so revered. Acclaimed director Peter Sedufia was also in the building, along with industry figure George Bosumpim, even James Timothy Gardner, Deputy Executive Secretary of the National Film Authority, Ghana, came through to show his support, a clear sign of the film's significance. And let's talk about the cast. The film features a powerhouse ensemble: Bran Angels, Ekuapim Polo, Adoma, and Joyce Nana Ama Meinu, to name just a few. Each of them brought a unique flavor to the screen, delivering performances that stuck with the audience long after the credits rolled. Yeah, so this is the poster on the screen. This is the poster for the private screening that they designed. Yeah, so what's the story behind the funeral of Kwadae? Set in the fictional but vividly portrayed town of Nipa Hiamwa, the film follows Kwadae, a boutique owner hits who's hit rock bottom. Business is failing, debt is mounting, and the terrifying loan shark named Achu is closing in. When a burglary wipes out what little he has left, Kwadae makes a wild, desperate choice. He fakes his own death. What follows is a tangled web of lies, emotional turmoil, and unexpected twists as the community mourns a man who isn't actually gone. While they hides in the shadows, watching the fallout of his decision. It's a story packed with suspense, humor, and heartbreak. Ultimately, the question of whether redemption is possible when you've betrayed everyone who ever cared about you. Beyond the plot, the funeral of Kwade is a statement, a testament to how far Ghanaian cinema has come. From the from the crisp visuals to the strong dialogue and emotional weight, this film doesn't just entertain, it elevates. As guests spilled out of Snap Cinema after the screening, one thing was clear: this is more than just a movie, it's a movement. Ghanaian stories told by Ghanaian creatives are capturing hearts and commanding attention, and the funeral of Kwade is proof that we are just getting started. And yes, I agree with one thing. I mean, if I don't even agree with anything at all, which I do agree, but if I don't agree with anything at all, I like the statement. I agree with this statement that it is a movement. Ghanaian stories told by Ghanaian creatives are capturing hearts and commanding attention. And yeah, so this indeed is exciting, and I'm saying it's exciting because I like the fact that a lot of these filmmakers now are telling stories that are, I wouldn't say they are now telling because it's been in existence. I mean, from the Kwawan Sans and then the Kin Ampaus and the others, they've all been telling Ghanaian stories. But I like the camaraderie where you have a lot of people in the industry. We may not be directly involved in this production coming to grace this occasion. And yes, I haven't watched the film myself because I wasn't at the private screening. However, I I realized one thing from the script, from the trailer itself. The trailer highlights on the strength of the story in talking about funerals and how relevant funerals are at, is how relevant funerals are in our Ghanaian culture. And in an Instagram post or video that I watched, I saw David Donto being interviewed, and he emphasized that Ghanaian funerals are very relevant or important to us as a people. And the fact that it was captured in this film is a good step in the right direction for Ghanaian stories as a whole. So it is indeed exciting to have this movie yet to be released, but the private screening bringing together people in this industry whom, even though may not be directly involved in the production of this film, came to lend their support, and it's indeed exciting. And I think if you go onto their Instagram page, you see excerpts of what happened during the event itself. I don't know whether I can be able to pull it up, but it was really exciting, especially looking at how they were all lending their support and they were so excited about the event itself. I'm trying to see if I can be able to pull it up. Let me just a minute. I'll be able to pull it up and then we can take a brief look at what transpired at the event itself. But I'm excited on the grounds that we have seen that there is the need to really support each other in this industry. Yesterday, I was talking about how Juliet Ibrahim has voiced out her concern with regards to the the showing of films or content by creatives without the necessary permissions. And to also see this, it's indeed a good thing to look at, because we need to learn to support each other with regards to whatever we do in this industry, because we have a long way to go with regards to having a strong presence in the global space worldwide. So I'm glad that we finally have individuals going all out to lend the necessary support to help build the industry as it should be. I would definitely leave a link to the videos. I'm not able to pull it up as I wanted to do. But yeah, the funeral of Kwadae, I don't know when it's going to be released. I think it's going to be released next month, from yeah, next month. And it is exciting to see filmmakers coming all together to support Nana Obiri Yeboah and Emma Alevi for the film that they have produced. And indeed, it is exciting. It is really, really exciting. And it was held at the Snap Cinemas, which I believe that during the screening, they may also hold one there, and as usual, at Silverbeds and other cinemas all over the country, so that wherever you are in Ghana, and hopefully maybe worldwide, since I think Nana Obiri Yeboah, I'm not so sure, but I think he's based in the UK. I'm sure there will also be a worldwide premiere and screening. So regardless of wherever you are, whether you're a Ghanaian, an African or not, you'll get the opportunity to watch this film. And I'm excited about it. And I'm looking forward to going to the cinema to also watch it and lend my support to these filmmakers for having done this. So yeah, that is Nana Obiri Yeboah and Alevi's film, The Funeral of Kwadae, their private screening, which happened on the 19th of April at the Snap Cinemas. And now, talking about cinemas, we have one renowned filmmaker and businessman, Fred Nuamah, talking about how the lack of cinemas is hampering the film industry as a whole. And I'm fascinated about this story because I remember some time back I was talking to a couple of friends, and yeah, the usual conversation has always been that because of the lack of cinemas, the industry is not really going to grow the way we would want it to, even though people are doing their best to produce all kinds of films and trying to screen it themselves. And I was in this conversation, I remember also talking about the fact that if even if the districts can establish one cinema each, I mean, we can have a cinema each in all these districts we have in Ghana, over 200 districts, then that could even provide us with a good network of cinemas for filmmakers to have the necessary platforms to screen their films in. And I'm excited when I was doing research for for this very episode, and I chanced upon this article which was published way back. I think it was published when last year, and regardless of the time it was published, the story seems so relevant even now, since the problem still persists. We still don't have enough cinemas all around the country to help with this project, and I'm excited that for a caliber, for a person of for his caliber, that is Fred Rama, to bring this up I'm excited about it because then it means that those that matter within the industry and outside the industry will definitely pay attention. So let's take a read and then we'll talk about it afterwards. So lack of cinemas, the biggest challenge for Ghanaian movie industry, Fred Nuamah says, which is written by was written by Isaac Donko, distinguished. So this is an article that was published on in the Modern Ghana online website. And then this is what it has to say. Renowned Ghanaian actor and businessman Fred Nwama has said that the lack of cinemas is the biggest challenge facing the country's movie industry. In an interview with Graphic Showbiz, Nwama said the death of cinema halls where local films can be screened is the top obstacle hindering the growth of Ghana's film sector. At the moment, musicians have places such as the National Theatre, Accra International Conference Center, and other venues to play their shows. There are also stadiums for footballers to play their matches. Where are the cinemas for the film producers to show their films? This is the biggest challenge that needs a solution, Nwama stated. The famed filmmaker argued that increased cinema infrastructure could significantly boost the economy. If we can sell an average of 500 tickets at 100 cedis per ticket per district, that's 5,000 Ghana cedis per district. And with 260 districts, we are talking about 1.3 million Ghana cedis here. This is how we can create 250,000 jobs every month through movie production, Waman noted. He called on government to partner with private sector to build cinemas because unless more cinemas are established nationwide, the country's thriving movie sector may struggle to maximize its profits and job creation potential. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm so glad that this article, I mean, Fred Rama has made this statement. And I'm thinking that it shouldn't even end there. This should be a national dialogue because it is very necessary that we we keep this conversation going till a proper solution can be administered. And I like the fact that he spoke about the districts, meaning that if it becomes a public private partnership thing, there is the likelihood that we can establish cinemas all over the country, regardless of wherever you find yourself in this country. And the good thing is that there is an example, or perhaps there is a prototype in Snap Cinemas at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, the building in the heart of Accra. And with this model, of which even the first story that I treated today, that is the private screening of the burial of Kwadae, was held there. So meaning that this the potential exists for for us to have cinemas all across the country. And just as he stated, government doesn't have to bear the weight of it all. All they need to do is to provide the necessary incentive to bring in um, what I say building companies or construction companies and investors to put up these cinemas all over. Because as it stands now, there is potential business in this cinema, the film industry as a whole. Because just as he stated, when you talk about musicians, when you talk about sportsmen, there are various infrastructures available or venues available for them to go and exhibit their crafts and have people come to patronize their services. Unfortunately, there isn't that widespread avenues or venues for the film industry. I'm talking about cinemas. There isn't. Only a few ones scattered or dotted around Accra, Kumasi, and other places. And it isn't enough. It's not enough because for movies to break even in their box office receipts, Usually it takes the opening weekend to determine whether that is going to be possible, let alone a month. So if usually you don't make your money back in your first weekend and second weekend, there is a likelihood that you may never recoup the investment you have made in your films. So if we should have 260 cinemas in addition to what Silverbird has and that and other single ones like Global Cinema and others that exist in the country, it's very likely that anybody who screens their films in Ghana in all these cinemas, let's say if the cinemas numbers to around 300 cinemas all over Ghana, then it's likely for filmmakers to recoup their money in the first weekend. And if you're going to use the American model where the first opening weekend starts from somewhere Thursday to Sunday, you're talking about 4 days. So the opening weekends will be 4 days. And based on his estimation, if each cinema can take and let's say 500 people, and tickets can be sold at 100 Ghana cities per cinema. I mean per film screening. It means that at a goal we are going to have 500 people times 100 cities, which would amount to 50,000 per cinema hall. And per the calculation it made in just a single night, 1.3 Ghana cities can be made. So if it continues for all the 4 nights, the likelihood would be that each filmmaker or producer would recoup their money in just the first night, hopefully, and also all the cinemas may also get their share of the booty as well, of the money they will be making from these screenings. So yes, there is the need for cinemas to be built to help boost the industry. The potential for making money in this industry is huge. It's not even be scratched. So if government and investors and private institutions that are, or real estate companies that are into building these infrastructures can turn their attention to these aspects of the business, they are likely to really make good money. And not just that, but it's not just only Ghanaian films that will be screened at these venues. Yes, maybe some preference should be given to Ghanaian films, but aside that, you'll be having foreign films also coming in, both from the continent and beyond, and that would help build and boost the industry in Ghana. And I think that it is something worth considering. It's a good business worth considering because without cinemas, there's no way films produced locally can make their money back and help continue to encourage them to keep on making business, I mean, films. So this article indeed is a good one, and I pray it's going to keep on going. The dialogue of having cinemas all over Ghana would keep on going because it is indeed necessary if we are to have our industry grow the way we want to. Yeah. So this indeed is my second story for the weekend. And talking about weekends and cinema, since we are in the weekend, as usual, I'm bringing to you the films that will be showing this Friday or this very weekend. And so I'm sure you are eager to go into this weekend to go and watch some film to distress from the very busy weekend you've had. So from the very busy week you've had. So on your screen, as usual, starting from Ghana with the Silverbird Cinemas Accra Mall, showing this very Friday, that is today, we have Ground Zero, which is an Indian film, which is a Hindi language Indian film, an action drama film, which will be showing or opening this very day. Also, another Indian film is a Fuel or Fule. Pardon me, I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but then it will also be opening today as well. It's a biography, a Hindi movie. Also from the US, You have The Accountant 2 starring Ben Affleck and John Benthal, which will be opening today as well. It has some great reviews. When you check Rotten Tomatoes, I think the Rotten Tomato critic rating it's at 75%, 75%, which is really good. Also, you have Until Dawn opening today as well, and it's a drama horror film. So an English film, Until Dawn. So if you are into horror, you can go and take a look at it. And also, Sinners is still in the cinemas, which screened or opened in the cinemas last week. So you can also go and check it out. It's been receiving great reviews. It's now on the Rotten Tomato score. It is at 97%, equal to the audience rating of it at 97% as well. It's quite amazing. And also opening last week as well is Aso Ebi Diaries, which is a Nigerian or Nollywood film, which opened last week, is still screening in the cinemas. And there are so many others as well that are still in the cinemas. Owambe Thieves, April 18th, which was last week, A Letter to God, which was last week as well, and then The Amateur and Drop. So all these films are showing locally in Silverbird, and I'm sure in other cinemas as well. In other cinemas as well. Yeah. So that is exciting to see. So if you have the time, you can go into the cinema and check it out as well. And also, let's check what is happening in the international scene as well. What movies will be screening in the international film markets. So yeah, in on the Rotten Tomato website, there are a number of films that will be screening in the cinemas as well. I'd like us to take just a look at a couple of them because they're quite a lot since they are dealing with several different or several territories. So we have Le Nozze di Figaro, which is opening on Saturday in the international market. Then the Accountant is, as usual, opening the world premiere, which is also happening similar in Ghana, is on the April 25th. The Accountant 2. Also, Until Dawn, same as well, opening on April 25th. That is today. And then we have The Legend of Ochi opening today as well. Episode 3. So for our Star Wars fans, for the Star Wars fans, episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, is being re-released in the cinemas today. Re-released in the cinemas today. And it's the 20th anniversary of its release. So it's going to be exciting for Star Wars fans as well. We also have On Swift Horses also opening today. So a lot of movies are opening today. You have Cheech and Chong's last movie opening today, and then A Normal Family, Winter, Spring, Summer, or Fall, Neighborhood Watch, all opening today in the international markets. So many movies opening today. I don't think I'll be able to name them all, but I'll be leaving the links to these sites so that you can go and check them out wherever you are in any part of the world. If there's a cinema screen, a movie, you may likely find one on this website and go and check it out. Yeah, so it is an exciting weekend right after the Easter holidays, and there are movies still showing in there, so you can go and then have a watch of any film of your choosing or liking. So yeah, this is indeed exciting, and yeah, so much movies to watch, so much catalog of movies that you can choose from. So yeah, this indeed wraps up this very episode of the Film Mandates. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you, my viewers, for joining me for this 25th episode of the Film Mandates. It's indeed exciting. I'd like you to leave your comments in the comment section below. Anything that you would like us to even talk about, or any views that you share concerning the stories I've shared with you today. So, indeed, I'll be seeing you on Monday with another episode of the Film Mandate. I am Papa Otu. See you next week.